This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Give them a call, 727-9900. Today's news is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New service and repair. Call Gunny's 775-727-6800.
Welcome to News 25 here on KPVM TV and Ace Country Radio. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. It is Thursday, January 5th.
Well, a man who was the subject of an animal abuse investigation recently is also in court for a report of a sexual assault against a child.
Apollonio Aniceto appeared in Pahrump Justice Court today for charges relating to an alleged sexual assault of a child over a period of 3 years. Aniceto appeared with his public defender, Ronnie Boscovich, before Judge Kirk Vito for a preliminary hearing. Aniceto was charged in October for the incident that reportedly occurred from 2011 until 2014, when the child was 9 until 12 years old. The details of the alleged crime are graphic. Former District Attorney Chris Arabia notes in the complaint that the female victim was mentally and physically incapable of resisting or understanding the nature of his conduct. Today's hearing determined whether there was enough evidence to bind the case over to district court. Boscovich told the judge that the 85-year-old is showing signs of dementia.
However, at this point, I am going to have Mr. Aniceto execute a conditional waiver of preliminary hearing for a competency evaluation. Mr. Aniceto has provided me documentation showing a diagnosis of dementia, and based on that and some of the conversations I've had with him, I think at this point it is most appropriate to get him evaluated to ensure that he is competent to stand trial.
The judge decided that the case would move forward and the defendant would appear in district court on February 6, 2023 at 9 a.m. in Department 2 for an arraignment hearing. Aniceto has been charged with 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of lewdness of a child under 14. Last month, this defendant was arrested by Nye County Sheriff's deputies following a search for the person who had abandoned a dog in the dead animal pit at Pahrump Valley Disposal. The dog was alive and in grave condition. The dog died after being rescued and transported by Nye County Animal Control. Another dog was found at Aniceto's property and in poor condition and transported to a Las Vegas emergency vet where it was humanely euthanized, suffering from antifreeze poisoning. He has been charged with 2 counts of animal cruelty and neglect in that case. News 25 later learned of a 3rd dog located at Aniceto's property. That dog was captured and transported to the Nye County Animal Shelter, where it is ready for adoption at this time.
And Bill Hochstedler, who was an applicant for Pahrump Justice of the Peace, now files complaints regarding the appointment of that position by the Nye County Board of Commissioners.
Well, I have nothing against Michelle Fiore as a person. I don't really know her that well. What I do have a problem with is the process that they used. The process that they used for the selection seems to be a little bit contrary to our Nevada revised statutes and the rules that govern that. Well, you have to be a resident for 30 days prior to your filing. So her filing was stamped on the December 7th, and the deadline for filing was December 8th, which is fine. She claims her residency as November 14th or 15th on video.
So this has been a plan for a while. I have 2.5 acres on Jolie that I bought June of 2022. I am renting a house as of 11/14 or 15.
Then her attorney, a few days later, to be able to basically counteract a decision that was made in Las Vegas at a city council vote, claims that her residency was actually the 17th. So either Michelle Fiore did not know what her actual date of residency is, which I think is kind of weak for somebody that's going to be a justice of the peace, or it's not factual.
I'm going to make a motion that we take the list as is and select Michelle Fiore because she had the majority of the votes.
The video of the entire session, it was rather some poor acting and some foreshadowing in the questionings that they actually had their mind made up. And a lot of the rumors and innuendo that goes around in the circles in Nye County, and you know what those things are, people kind of had a feeling that the fix was in. What's surprising about that is that most people, there's a lot of Republicans in Nye County, and I understand that, and I'm a Republican myself. However, a lot of people feel that, they always have the thing that the fix is in for the left's doing this, they're stealing votes, they're doing this, and yet our elected officials that we trusted did exactly what we don't want elected officials to do. It just doesn't seem right. And if they had any knowledge of this applicant coming in with a application that was not valid due to residency requirements, they should have never voted for her. So they're probably just as guilty of NRS 293.1755 as the applicant. I'm not suing the county. I have a complaint with the Attorney General, and I made a copy of it so it'd be available to them. I did address it to them as a courtesy. I'm not suing anybody. I would say I have a complaint to the Attorney General about the actions that our Board of Commissioners took and the applicant themselves who potentially falsified a record.
Well, the city of Las Vegas has put together a video regarding new traffic laws in our new year.
A new Nevada Assembly bill will decriminalize minor traffic violations, making them civil infractions instead of criminal misdemeanors, ending the practice of issuing warrants when someone can't afford to pay the fines.
Nobody should go to jail for traffic.
Until new Assembly Bill 116, people unable to pay traffic fines for minor violations like speeding or failure to yield could be arrested and even incarcerated.
The more serious things obviously stayed criminal. So driving under the influence, reckless driving, those types of things obviously stayed criminal. And an interesting nuance to this law is even if it is something that is a civil infraction, if you did it while you were, say, driving under the influence, that can still be treated as criminal.
Although civil infractions will not come with jail time, the violation still needs to be resolved or the case will go into default, sent through the collections process, and you could possibly have your driver's license suspended.
You could be setting yourself up by not taking care of your civil thing. You could be setting yourself up for future criminal issues down the road.
Lawmakers hope the passing of AB 116 will help free up law enforcement and save taxpayers the cost of jailing those that receive minor traffic violations. Many of Nevada's neighboring states have already decriminalized traffic tickets, and the new bill builds on a successful model used by Carson City, which stopped issuing warrants in traffic cases in 2019, resulting in a collection rate increase by 8.5%. AB 116 was passed in the 2021 Nevada legislature. The changes brought forth by the new bill will go into effect on January 1st, 2023.
We're not sure, for example, how many people are going to challenge the civil violations and how many hearings do we need to have. So we've set aside quite a bit of time in our traffic court for civil hearings.
Beginning January 1st, any person who receives a civil infraction within the Las Vegas city limits must respond to the Las Vegas Municipal Court within 90 days after the date the citation is issued. And any warrant on cases that are changing from criminal to civil will be automatically canceled effective January 1st. For more information on the changes, you can visit in person at 100 East Clark Avenue or contact Municipal Court at 702-38-COURT. For City Beat, I'm Sue Levitt.
All right, don't grab that remote. Much more local news coming up on News 25, and you can always stream us on Local BTV.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on. This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Lisa Spahitz and Mike Plasmeyer at Country Financial Insurance. Auto, home, life, and commercial. 775-727-8920.
Welcome back to News 25. In more local news, a vehicle structure crash ends with an arrest.
Driver flees scene after crashing his car. On December 31st, 2022, local authorities received an injury accident call in Pahrump that a red Honda sedan crashed into a garage and left the scene. According to the officer's declaration of arrest, deputies arrived on scene and discovered no driver, but a single occupant was still inside the car. Authorities later learned that the passenger is blind and could not identify the driver. As police canvassed the area, they spoke to a witness that saw the suspect leaving the scene wearing a blue hoodie and jeans. Deputies later located the suspect, later identified as Dylan Hastings, hiding in the bed of a pickup truck and allegedly appeared to be heavily intoxicated. According to the officer's report, Hastings was unable to answer basic questions and never admitted to operating the sedan. The owner of the Honda arrived on scene, who told police she let Hastings borrow the vehicle earlier that day. Officers conducted a law enforcement check of Hastings' driver's license and discovered his license is currently revoked. Hastings was arrested and transported to the Nye County Detention Center for the alleged crimes of revoked driver's license, duty to stop at accident. Additionally, Hastings was not taken into custody for DUI, according to the officer's report.
And a Pahrump man is arrested following a physical altercation.
On December 7, 2022, Nye County Sheriff's deputies responded to a home in Pahrump on a report of an alleged assault. According to the declaration of arrest, law enforcement officials spoke with the victim, who said a man that he knows of as Bud went to his home and accused him of sleeping with someone. The victim told deputies the suspect, later identified as Ernest Ruiz, forced his way into his residence and began physically attacking him by pushing him backwards, causing him to fall to the ground. During the fight, the homeowner was able to get Ruiz outside of the residence, where they continued to fight, according to the officer's declaration of arrest. The victim told deputies he was struck in the head with an unknown object. The victim told officers he was able to overpower Ruiz, resulting in the suspect leaving the area. Authorities observed the victim having a large bump on his left side of his forehead and blood coming from his right eyelid and right ear. Police later located Ruiz and transported him to the Nye County Detention Center for the alleged charge of residential burglary.
The Consumer Electronics Show, also known as CES, is back open in Las Vegas. Due to COVID-19, it was virtual in 2021. It was limited in 2022, but now it's fully back open while still honoring COVID restrictions.
CES 2023, the world's most influential tech event, is back in Las Vegas on January 5th through 8th. With more to see than ever, the show footprint will be over 70% larger than CES 2022. For the first time, CES has a theme: how technology is addressing the world's biggest challenges. CES is the world's most exciting technology event, from startups in Eureka Park to global brands on the main stages. We are now thrilled to spotlight thousands of innovative companies at this year's show. Tech advances are helping to solve the world's greatest challenges, and CES 2023 will set the agenda for the year ahead. You'll see CES influential brands like Canon, Google, Intel, LG Electronics, and much more. Visit www.ces.tech for more information.
Always good gadgets there.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Police are asking for your help regarding a hit and run here in Sandy Valley. We'll tell you about that when we return. Okay, sorry.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back. Well, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police are investigating a fatal vehicle versus pedestrian crash that took the life of a senior citizen in Sandy Valley. This is a hit-and-run crash, they say, that took place last week on Friday evening in Sandy Valley at approximately 9:31 p.m. Officers responded to 1650 East Quartz Avenue for reports of a vehicle that hit a pedestrian and fled the scene. Investigators believe that that vehicle, described as a Toyota Corolla, was headed west on Quartz Avenue when the pedestrian was walking in the same lane as that vehicle. They say that the pedestrian entered the path of the travel lane. The pedestrian was then struck by the vehicle and projected forward onto the ground. The driver of that Toyota failed to remain at the collision scene and fled that area. Vehicle parts were found at the scene, and witness statements indicated that the vehicle was possibly a silver 1993 to 1997 Toyota Corolla four-door sedan. The pedestrian, a 77-year-old man, was pronounced deceased at the scene. Anyone with information is urged to call the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department at 702-828-3786. That's 702-828-3786. You can also remain anonymous by calling Crime Stoppers at 702-385-5555. 855.
Well, with 2023 officially here, many people are kicking off their New Year's resolutions. But a doctor with Cleveland Clinic also says it's the perfect time for you to make sure that you are prioritizing your health.
As a primary care physician, I would encourage everyone to put their health first as a New Year's resolution. And the good news is that it's one resolution we can keep simply by making a doctor's visit. And so many resolutions can be based from that: losing weight, eating better, but at least we'll know where we're at.
Dr. Samego notes there are several routine medical screenings adults should be keeping up with in the new year. She says a lot of people don't know they have high cholesterol, but they can find out through a simple blood test. Getting your cholesterol checked will let you know if you need to make any changes to avoid serious health issues like a heart attack or stroke. When it comes to diabetes, keeping tabs on your blood glucose levels is important to show if you have any risk of developing the disease. According to Dr. Samego, knowing if you have pre-diabetes is crucial so you can make lifestyle changes to prevent or delay the onset of diabetes. A visit to your doctor can also help you stay on top of cancer screenings. For example, people with an average risk of colorectal cancer should start getting colonoscopies at 45 years old. Above all, Dr. Samego says people should not put off going to the doctor, even if they have not reached specific health goals yet.
My patients often wait because they want to quit smoking, or they want to lose weight before they see me, or they're not ready. And what I often encourage them is to say, look, those are long-standing goals. And so waiting until you're at the perfect weight or you've stopped smoking isn't a good reason to delay care. Because sometimes that knowledge of where you're at, where's your cholesterol, is your blood pressure high, has your weight gone up, those are things that are going to drive you to make those changes and maybe motivate you more.
Medical experts also add that your healthcare provider can help you set different health goals and can also work with you to reach them.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
It is wet and rainy and ice on the hump over to Pahrump.
It sure is.
Please be careful out there. Dark clouds are moving across our skies. More in our forecast after the break.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Nice to see you here locally and also worldwide on the local BTV app, the app you need on your phone in 2023. Hey, look at Fernley at 42, 47 out there in Fallon. Carson City at 40 degrees. The whole state's under kind of a wetness condition, but as we drift south, Tonopah, Goldfield, Beatty, cool temperatures at 38 degrees. Beatty, you saw 49, but you're just finishing up with some snow, so we got a little snow in the middle of the state. You get down to Amargosa, 51 degrees, very nice. Las Vegas, 52, the Hot Spot Award winner, but again, hot and wet. It's raining everywhere. Death Valley, 66 degrees. Here in the Paradise of Pahrump, let's take a look at 48 degrees and go, yay! Well, it was 50 just a little bit earlier. That seems worth celebrating. Southeasterly winds at 12 miles per hour. Throughout the day, humidity at 78%. Yeah, we get a little bit of moisture out here, don't we? Sun rose this morning at 6:55, set this evening at 4:43. Beautiful sunset under those cloudy skies as we head down to a low tonight of 38 degrees and alarms going off in the building. Awesome. They stopped. Humidity at 77%. Could that mean like more clouds tomorrow? Let's take a look. No, look at that. Hey, sunshine. What? Sunshine at 78% humidity? I cannot believe it. It's going to be a gorgeous Friday. 55-degree temperatures, winds about 6 miles per hour. Most of those winds will stay under 10 miles per hour through the weekend. We'll see a return of some clouds Saturday, Sunday. Monday, little chance of rain, 16% chance, but 60% chance on Tuesday upcoming. It will be a little bit wet. So look forward to that on the other side of the weekend. But nice weekend coming up. Looks like we return to normal. temperatures in the mid-50s on Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be a great 7-day stretch. Enjoy it all. Make your plans, and back to the desk. Here's Deanna.
All right, so
Thanks,
we know
John.
that there was ice coming over
Yes,
when you were coming
I
in.
drove over it. I slowed down thanks to your advice, yes, and my mom's advice. Thanks, Mom. And so I want everyone to be careful out there on the roadways. It's still raining in Las Vegas, and it's raining around the edges of Pahrump, but there's definitely ice up there on the mountain and snow, and it's getting colder, and so be careful. Try not to slam on those brakes. Slow down and pay attention. Drive defensively.
And watch out for UNET.
Yes.
Don't drive fast.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you back here tomorrow night. I'm Deanna.
I'm UNET.
Good night.
Good night.